All right, I think I'm live. I gotta double check. I gotta double check. I got so many damn accounts. Let me check, double check, recheck. Let me see here. Whoo-wee. And make sure it's live. Okay, good. It's live. Let me see if I can hear myself. Let me see if I can hear myself. Let me see if I can hear myself. Okay, good. All right, excellent. All right, I have this microphone, so I need to make sure that it works. It looks like it's working fine. Um, One of the things that I want to talk about, I'm going to get to technology at a later point. I got a lot on my hands. I have plenty on my hands, things I have to do. So, as I've said before, it can't take a priority for me to master this YouTube thing. I'm not ever going to make any money, and I don't have any intention or desire to. So, I'm not going to invest a whole lot of time into it. I'm going to talk about Chicago, failure, poverty, and the public schools. It's not going to be a really long live, um, but it's on my mind. It's on my mind. Um, I have avoided it. You know, you see everybody's talking about it. People are going crazy. I just was like, this is this another, degenerate tale of some bullshit. I just knew well something in Chicago. Here we go. Here we go. And I kind of just avoided paying attention. Anytime I see something about Chicago and the kids, I just be like, I don't want to know. I think I'm a little like overwhelmed. We've had so much going on in the past 2 years. And you just keep piling on and piling on. And then some of this stuff is just so like ingrained. And so people can do all this outrage, but nobody's gonna do anything about it. They'll be outraged. People will talk shit. People will make their political points, punch certain people in the face, blame other people. And then it goes back to being how it was. And I don't have the energy for it. This is old news to me. This is old news to me. So I'll give a little bit of my background before I begin. Hey, what's up? Good morning, Gabe. Good morning. So I'll give a little background. I'm talking about poverty, um, schools, and failure in parenting and the whole thing. I'm gonna just give an overview. I have two clips that I want to play um, as examples, and I'll stop and go and talk about it. This isn't going to be a huge long live like hours. Probably be at less than an hour, maybe 40 minutes. But I taught at an alternative school. Um, so while I don't have, a understanding of like what it's like to grow up in an environment where you're surrounded by poverty, I don't have that experience. I can say, I can say that I've experienced life through my students who were poor. A lot of at-risk kids, lots of at-risk kids. Good morning, Woo. Good morning. And I've drawn some harsh conclusions about what I think are solutions, which I did a long time ago. But it's kind of harsh. It's not kind. It's not kind. I'll get to that towards the end because I have to explain the why first. But you have a lot of unwanted children in America. Okay, unprepared for children in America. Being unprepared is one thing, unwanted is another. Okay, there's a lot of unwanted children, and that's the conversation nobody wants to have. That's the real conversation. That's what I learned as a teacher. There are lots of unwanted children. And when I say unwanted, nobody wants to take responsibility for these children. Nobody wants to raise them. It's nobody's fault, but it's everybody's fault. And it's a pass the buck. These are pass the buck kids. and that's the root of the problem. We can talk about test scores, we could talk about lack of teacher training, we could talk about poor parents, we could talk about socioeconomics, we could talk about all that shit. At the end of the day, you have a whole group of kids in every generation, more and more, who are unwanted. There's no solution for real, for children who are here who are unwanted. The schools are failing because they're full of children who are unwanted, uncared for, neglected, tossed aside by everybody. And the truth of the matter is, when you think about it, you bring children into the world. If your parents, with an S, if your parents don't care, your parents don't have a plan and a purpose for your life, who will? That's my question as a teacher, as an educator. If your mother and your father don't have a plan and a purpose for your life, who else in the world is going to care? And the answer is nobody. Nobody. Because that's where the responsibility ultimately lies, in the mother and the father. And when you have a breakdown in the mother and father, which is the two elements it took to make you and to sustain you and support you and put you on a path to purpose and success, it takes two. And when those two are not there, who else is supposed to fucking care? That's my question as a teacher. You got parents that will argue. You could even just do a poll. Whose job is it to educate a child? It's the teacher, it's the school, right? It's the institution. Parents don't want to parent. They don't want to be responsible. You brought that human into the world. You created that brain and that body. You did that. But you don't think you're responsible to make sure they can read. Okay? Parents don't care because they have unwanted children. And I do think that this is unfortunate with Chicago. What's up, V-Dub? Yeah, it's the parents' obligation. But when you actually sit with parents and you start talking about the stuff, you know what they do? They put it back on you. Well, that's why I send them to school. It's disgusting being a teacher, honestly, with at-risk kids. It's disgusting. And I can imagine with elite kids, it's probably equally as disgusting because they probably think that because their status, you're supposed to give them something. It's the same shit. You got there's a loss of people who want to work hard and who want to hold their kids accountable and who have a purpose for their fucking children. Shit's rare. It's rare, y'all. Most of these people are not parenting out here. I'm speaking from experience, not assumption. These people don't give a fuck about their kids. And they want to blame everybody. It's the principal's fault. It's the school district. It's the superintendent. It's the school board. And nobody wants to say the real shit. I used to get in trouble when I was a teacher because I would do some slick ass shit to make a point. I would ask certain questions to make a point. They don't like that. People don't like that. They don't like truth. We want to deal in bullshit. We want to focus on standardized tests and teacher training and funding and bullshit. What we're not dealing with is that we have a whole plethora of unwanted children, and teaching and learning is not the goal. Having somewhere for them to stay and be babysat till the age of 18 is really the only goal. Let's be honest. Okay, let me see what's being said. And I'm gonna play this clip. I want y'all to hear it from another teacher. Exactly. That's where a lot of the anger comes from. They want to offload raising their children to the public schools. Yeah, it becomes a babysitting service. I used to help my kids with their homework, project, test prep. Yeah, and monitoring what the kids are learning and when they're learning it. That is our responsibility as parents, and to make sure that they're mastering stuff, to ask questions, to know what the grades are. Can't imagine how many parents I have tell me, well, why did his grade get like this? Well, you're supposed to monitor the grades. They have a system, they got technology. You're supposed to come to parent teacher conference. You never came. And when I call you, you too busy or you don't respond. And then there's no daddy listed. Can't call daddy. Or I've had times I try to call daddy, and daddy basically telling me how you the one who won't let him be a father. Man, I can't, I swear to God, the shit I've seen in the 17 years I taught, 17 years, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. And I don't know how anybody does it just for a job. I thought in my mind, when I was a teacher, I was helping the underserved of my black people. That's how I saw it. I saw it as like a form of charity and a form of race upliftment. That's how I was seeing it. And that's why I accepted, less potential in myself as far as money is concerned, you know. And I think when I first started teaching, I think my first couple years, I think 40 I made 42,000 my beginning first began teaching. And by the time I left at 17 years of teaching, I was making about 94,000. I collected degrees, as you understand. So I was making about 94,000 as a teacher. Um, and I was willing to accept a low salary like that because I was doing it for my people. I want to be clear about that. And I had a mission in my head, gotta save my people, support my people. I had a lot of things I believed. If you just help people, if you just show them the way. But I realized that poverty is a culture and you cannot change somebody's culture. You spend an hour with these kids a day. How you gonna change their culture? Let me read these comments and I'm gonna play this audio by this teacher. A male, it looks like a kind of mixed race black male teacher. Let me see. He says, and I'm always teaching what I learned. Yes, no child left behind. Ambassador, that's very true. Parents treat the school system as a vehicle to outsource all academic responsibility and their household. Absolutely. And they recently outsourced like feeding children, which I would think was very dangerous. I think that's very dangerous. You got kids, they only eat at school. That's insane. To the point where they have to send a box for the weekend. I don't know if y'all know about that. And even they send boxes of food for the weekend and the summer. And some schools they send dinner in a bag, in the kids' book bag. If you say that you're at that poverty level, most schools are offering weekend and summer food. So basically, people are admitting they have children and they can't afford to feed them, which is insane. Insane to me. Insane. You got pictures of them, Olmec heads. I took my kids to the museum and broke down all the history to know facts in Black history. Yeah, and it's a daily thing, V Dub. It's that daily presence that makes the difference. It's that daily presence. I volunteered with Microsoft to teach coding to high school kids in Detroit. I quit after a month. Kids were disrespectful. That's exactly what I'm about to get to. Didn't show up to class and they just weren't ready to learn. That's exactly it. Appreciate you, Woo. And I ain't got time for that. Exactly. And the good thing about my situation, I should say this, how you say, well, May, how did you last so long? The reason why I lasted so long is because I was at an alternative school that was all Black, well funded. We knew our kids were in trouble. We had small classes. Most of my classes were all male for the most part. I'd have about 3 girls in a class of 15, and the rest were all males. So I can almost say I was teaching at an all male school. And all these kids had been told they were bad and they were no good. You failed academically, blah, blah, blah. So these kids were handpicked. These are they're not violent kids. They're just worse of the worst when it comes to academics. And boy, I did some work in that motherfucker, okay? I transformed their attitudes, their outcomes, I had a culture. And Miss Freeman crazy, that's what they would say. Miss Freeman crazy. Don't talk, I was something else. That's all I could tell you. But the kids loved me because I kept it so real with them. They loved me. And I loved my kids. I loved them a lot. And I miss my kids. Those kids, I didn't leave because of the kids. I was ready to leave for many reasons. But the system itself was a failure. And you train teachers to understand and think all these things and to approach education a certain way. And then you find out that the system is opposite of everything they're supposed to do. You're going to hear this. Listen. Teachers are quitting because parents are absent, students are out of control, and admin is nowhere to be found.
The system is broken. I left because I cared too much to watch it anymore. I was tired of showing up to work every single day, knowing that some kid someday was going to be seriously hurt from another kid, and there was nothing that I could do about it. I prevented a kid from being beaten. I prevented a girl from being smashed in the head with an iPad. I was tired of getting hit. I was tired of being disrespected every single day as if I was nobody standing there. I wasn't a authority because there was nothing to stop them from doing anything. They don't suspend, they don't expel because that makes them look bad. It makes the numbers look bad. It's the system. The system is broken. It's a Title I school. They get food. You know what happens at the end of the day? If they don't eat the food, even though it's unopened, they throw it in the trash. The system is broken. I was tired of watching the good kids, the great kids who had a great family life be sucked into the negativity and the bad behavior and the overall thought that school doesn't matter, who the hell cares? I'm just here to hang out with my friends. I was tired of not being able to get in touch with any parent ever. The ones that I needed to talk to, at least. I was tired of being told every single time, just document it, just write it down, just document it, just document it, just document it, and nothing gets done. You're just documenting for no reason. I was tired of saying you have detention and being laughed at, knowing that they're not going to show up at the detention, and then nothing else is going to happen, and I can't reach home, so then what am I supposed to do? They don't care about their grades either.
Ooh, ooh. When I saw this, I said, "Oh, I got." He inspired me to do a stream. He put everything that's wrong in 1 minute flat. This man is crystal clear. He's been through the battlefield, y'all. They're losing teachers left and right. Losing teachers left and right. I had to transition and be focused on my family. So it was perfect timing for me. I was getting burnt out after 17 years. They're at a point now, y'all, in these schools where teachers are getting burnt out in the first year, first 2 to 3 years. At this point, especially teachers who know they can get out, these millennials, and they can make some money, Gen Z, they're quitting. In my last 2 years, the last 2 years of me teaching, I watched at least 5 millennial teachers be trained, come in, have a whole class. And we have an honor system in education. It's like in the military. You don't ever leave a comrade behind. Well, we have rules too in the army of education. You do not leave your children behind ever. You have, no matter what your situation in life is, if you're sick or whatever, unless you're about to die, you do not, unless you're about to die, you do not leave your children, your students. You wait till the end of the semester, but ideally you wait until the summertime. That's when you can leave. Everybody honors that for the most part. So when you hear a teacher and she's leaving in freaking January, why couldn't you wait till June? What's wrong with you? Something serious must have happened. You don't just resign. You don't do that. Do you know how many teachers I watch resign? They come in, they got a class, they're teaching, they're there 1 month, 2 month, 3 month. Y'all listen, I've literally seen young teachers just got trained, walk the fuck out, gone, won't say a fucking mumbling word. I've watched teachers in their first year, I watched at least 5 of them walk off the job. You know what they saying? Fuck that shit. I can go make some money somewhere else with some dignity and pride. Because when you done sat there and you done went to school and you done got you these student loans on your head, you sacrificed to get your degree in education, and you have all these ideals and shit they taught you. And then when you get in the classroom and then you turn around and somebody hit you in the back of the head with an eraser. Picture this shit now. You turn around and everybody laughing and nobody is gonna tell because they have no snitching policy. You gonna go in there every day and deal with that shit? And if you white, you know you can hang it up. White teaching black kids, you really can hang it up. Them black kids be dragging them white teachers. And minorities, Asians and stuff, they don't last. The Latinos might be able to last, depending if they street enough. Them kids will eat you a new asshole. They will eat you alive. These kids are vicious. They literally harass and disrespect teachers really bad. I had 2 times in my job as a teacher out of them 17 years. When I went to this new school, I went to this other school. I got transferred. I'll talk about that at another time. After 15 years of teaching, my last 2 years I spent at a regular high school. I had a reason, nothing of my fault, that I had to transfer after 15 years at the same school. And my school was an ideal school that I was at before. That's why I lasted so long. Had I been in a regular high school, I would have never lasted because the level of disrespect that they tolerate at all Black schools, especially schools that have a high poverty rate, the culture that they promote is disgusting. It's disgusting. And you have these PhD principals, right? Who have all the desire to step it up, but they are just using the high school as a stopping ground, just a stepping point. But their ultimate ideal is, I want to be a deputy superintendent. They could give a fuck about them kids. You understand? Those are the type of principles they pay their dues. They go into the hood schools. And these motherfuckers be some of them. The woman that I'm talking about, particularly, who was my last principal. And I'm gonna say this: I never ever liked working under Black women as a principal. Them bitches be full of shit. And I was very happy working under this particular Black man for 15 years. I was very happy. Okay. I really excelled and I did a lot for that school. I had a good relationship with him. Very good. Everything was well, the best possible outcomes over there. But it was those last 2 years I stepped into a traditional, typical, regular high school where they didn't have all the small classes and they didn't have a principal dedicated to, boy, get your ass over here. At the school I was at, that's how they say, boy, get your ass over here. It was a very masculine based school. They didn't play with them boys. We had police there and they didn't play with them boys. And it wasn't harassing them boys. It's letting them boys know we got the guardrails. We ready for you to act a fool. Now you don't want to do that, son. We don't want you to have them consequences and you don't want them. And that was the school I came from. I went to a regular school, the type of school these teachers dealing with. And they have this bourgeoisie, tall, skinny bitch with her PhD. She could give a fuck about them teachers. These are the administrators they be putting in place. Motherfuckers who are so detached from the Black community. How do I know? The bitch started bragging about how she was marrying her white man. Found that out. I said, oh, there we go. Girl, you so disconnected from the Black community. This a bunch of niggas to you, ain't it? She was a Black coon. Come to find that out. Mm-hmm. So these are the type of the people that they put in charge at a lot of Black at-risk schools. And if they pay their dues and they do their little tap dance, they will eventually move them up, which is exactly what happened. That last year, by the end of the school year, she announced on the last day, you guys, I'm going to get a job at the administration, right? So she can get that $180,000, $200,000. That's what they do. They pawn our kids. And these are the people y'all call administrators. They're supposed to be in charge. They could give a fuck. They'll go to a whole new state. They always looking for a better pay. These people want to get paid. It's a business to them. So let's go back through what this guy has said. He said, can't lie, parents are always working, can't reach them like that. That's the problem. We need to stop having children if we can't. That's what I'm gonna get to at the end. If we can't do it, we don't need to be having children. It's not benefiting anybody. It's hurting the child. We got to stop doing that. We got to stop having children when we don't have ideal situations. Instead of just, well, I just figured they'll be half raised. Oh well, I'll be partway present. Oh well, no. And this is how they turn out fucked up. This is how. And I'm gonna play another one because this other teacher, she's talking about how we need to be afraid because it's true that if you don't get these kids educated, if the whole community and the whole schooling system doesn't educate these kids, we're in trouble, crime wise and future wise. Who's going to fill these jobs? Who's going to fulfill these jobs? And what she says is absolutely no lie. And you can tell she's a new teacher. She's a new teacher. I'm old school. I got some stripes, stripes in the game. You say, Gabe, we got to have a panel on this one. Yeah, we could definitely have a panel on this one. It's worth talking about. It's definitely worth talking about. Folks homeschooling their kids now, You can get a few thousand every quarter for homeschooling your kids. Yeah, but homeschooling is complicated. Um, I'm home now, and with all that I do in the daytime, it takes some serious discipline, knowledge, and understanding. Being able to read curriculum guides. We're not talking about just putting kids. Some people say homeschool is putting kids on computers and pre-designed, uh, academic activities. Um, accepted, you said, accepted disrespect is never the move, no matter what the occupation. Black folks lost the sense of family, grandma to young, and she's not Big Mama. That really raised two generations. The core of our culture was attacked a long time ago for this desired effect. Well, I think it really starts with the breakdown of the traditional family. It takes two parents, literally, to raise a child. It takes the masculine and feminine every day. It takes that. The father has a role, the mother has a role. I'm not going to get into family dynamics, but what I can tell you is that I have times, I mean, throughout my day, when I say to my husband, I say, Pooh, I need help. Or he can even just pick up on it. He'll step in because different dynamics work for different. I can get my daughter, he might be able to get my daughter to do something that I can't. I got to spend a lot of energy. And I'm be honest with y'all, I just got to say it. And no disrespect, I don't mean anything by it. But this week here, this trip my husband went on, I actually had some challenges. I actually had some challenges with my daughter. And it really made me miss his presence so much. You know, it made me miss his presence so much. And usually I don't have to take her to school as much and get her ready in the morning and do so much. A lot of times my husband, he will leave on like just a Friday or Thursday. He left on like Tuesday. So I had Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday that I had to get her to school by myself in the morning and all the stuff that goes along with that. And I'm an older parent, so I'm not seasoned here. And all I can tell you is for the first time, I felt like I got a taste of just a bit of what it's like to be a single mother. And when I say a single mother, I don't mean anything disparaging. I just mean it's all on me. It's all on me. I had that feeling. I got just a taste of that. It's all on me. But I know he coming back in about 5, 6, 7 days. But that feeling of it's all on me, man, fuck that shit. I don't like that feeling at all. I don't like that feeling. It's all on me. I don't like it. I actually literally felt, and it is, if I didn't do everything, she ain't getting to school. I got to pick her up. I mean, no shared nothing. Never had 4 days straight. Woo, baby. I can't wait for him to come back. I don't like that feeling. It's all on me. But y'all know how many Black women carry that, or single fathers? They carry that every day. It's all on me. And then on top of that, whether it's male or female, mom or dad or grandmama, it's all on me. Y'all, that's heavy. That's heavy. That's heavy. It's all on me. That shit's not good. You sometimes you got grandmama, she caring for 2, 3 kids. It's all on me. Man, please. That I'm gonna make a t-shirt to say it's all on me. That's hell. That's fucking hell. And I thought about it. I said, well, wow. Well, what if this was how it was? I would be, oh man, I'd be a fucking mess. I don't know how I could do it without my husband. It's all on me. Shit. Shit. Man. So these people be having 2 and 3 kids and they by themselves, male or female, they going through hell. They going through hell. It's all on me. And you also expect this person, for whatever reason, to also show up for their children, to be at every parent teacher conference, to teach, to make sure the homework is done, to do the discipline. So, on that way, I'm relating to how overwhelming it must be. And I'm a mom who does what? I don't work. I have the luxury of driving my daughter and picking her up. They called me on Tuesday and said, oh, your daughter's shivering. I was there quick. I got her. Took her to the pediatrician. It's all on me. Wasn't that wrong with her ass. She was just cold. The white folks be blowing the goddamn air in the classroom. Stupid shit. So I just started putting on a sweatshirt and I bought her some thermals. That's it. She's slim, little slim thing. But my point of saying that is that that's the reality some people have. And they're working. I don't fucking work. I quit to be here. I quit so I could do all of that, PTA, all of that. I quit my career so I could be everything to her. But how many women have the opportunity to quit everything, to not work? And I'm overwhelmed and I'm not even doing any of the stuff they're doing or any of the men who are single fathers. This shit is crazy. So these are the same people. I just want y'all to understand what I'm saying, connect to it. I'm overwhelmed with it being all on me and I don't even work. Imagine if I had a job and I had 2 kids, I only got 1, or I had 3 kids, and I'm expected to do all of this for all of them. And don't forget, you got to go medical, you got to take them to the this and that. We ain't even got to after school activities and shit. What? That's what I'm saying. When people don't have the ideal situation, it's probably best not to have children. It's just not. It's not ideal. They're not helping nobody. It's actually an act of selfishness if we get down to it. Let me read a couple comments. You said, Ambassador, May, you can't be anti-homeschool to change this problem. We need to encourage a homeschooling culture to relieve the school system. There is not a solution outside of that. Parents are not ready for homeschool. I would have a difficult time, even myself, with all my training, the discipline. Y'all, just the computer alone is not educating the kid. I have an in-home classroom, and I would challenge any parent who don't have an in-home classroom. What are you doing? What are you doing? I've asked parents that, do you have a classroom in the home? No. Wow. You don't have a classroom in the home. So, you know, my dad, we had what you call a study, a library, but at me, fucking kids don't go in there. It's a corny place. But yeah, you have to have a classroom in the home, and it should be the center of learning. Um, when I first had my daughter, um, they have this program when you are born premature. They send people to your house to help make sure that your kid is making developmental milestones. And they assign you somebody. And I'm gonna get back to this video, the audio. And the woman, the first thing she said to me, which was common sense, she said, "It is our belief that every child needs a space for growth and development and learning lifelong." I heard her, you know, and she said, "You need to carve out a space." And for some kids, that's the kitchen table. Um, it makes it a serious thing. It shows a commitment. Having a space where you say, "This is where learning happens," an assigned space. This desk or this area, these are where the books are. This is where learning happens. This is where you and I collaborate and make sure we meet here and get your work done. We got to be serious. We got to be serious about this if we're going to have productive children. All right, let me go back to what this man said. I'm going to go. I want to make some points here. But how do we take the responsibility away from the parent? Yes, it's true. You got parents that it's just one of them. They're working. I just want to be realistic here. How do we expect them to do it all? How? It is their job. Nobody can do that job. And that's what I'm saying. Unwanted children are a problem. Unwanted children are a problem.
And admin is nowhere to be found. The system is broken. I left because I cared too much to watch it anymore. I was tired of showing up to work every single day, knowing that some kid someday was going to be seriously hurt from another kid, and there was nothing that I could do about it.
Okay, that's true. My last 2 years, I saw blood on the wall. I don't know how many times, and it was shocking and it was hurtful to me. You, as a teacher, you will see that these kids fight every day. We had a point where we had lockdown for a whole week because it tends to be in the schools that energy, it travels. The kids will start off with one fight and then it turns into another. and another. And before you know it, you have a whole school where it's just fights, fights, fights. I don't know if y'all are familiar with that, particularly in high school. So you can have one fight and that energy transforms if the school culture is not serious about violence. And one fight, and basically as a teacher, you saying to yourself, once you see that first fight, oh shit. That's what you're saying. Oh shit. You know why you say oh shit? Because it's just a matter of time. It could be in your classroom, it could be in the hallway, it could be after school. There's guaranteed in a lot of these typical traditional black high schools where they only got one fucking fat ass security guard who's never around and principals who don't want to fuck their suits up. Okay. We got policies. Don't touch. That, there's a lot of restrictions on teachers. Don't touch. You fuck around and grab one of them kids and you get busted and beat up. We see it all the time. You fuck around and touch one of them kids, pulling them off the other kids, all them kids will jump your ass. We know this. So what you end up seeing is a bunch of teachers who just say, call the security, call security. And meanwhile, they're standing in front of you beating the hell out of each other. And legally, you better not touch them if you know education law. You better not touch them. Because anything happens after that to you or them is your fucking fault. These kids got a lot of rights, y'all understand. And these rights prevent common sense. Back in the day, you get two strong men or strong PE female teacher, or at least, some of us would put our body in the middle and push back or do something. You can't do shit these days. You fuck around and see a fight, you better run the other way as a teacher. Go the other way. And I had one situation where there was a fight and I was pulling the students apart, and I have long dreads. And a student somewhere behind me who didn't like me that took that opportunity to yank the shit out of my dreads. I learned my lesson then. I'm not getting in a fray, because that's when you got a chance for others who don't like you to stick and move your ass. That's reality. So you literally are helpless watching kids fight. One fight leads to 5 fights. And so you spend the rest of the time on lockdown. Y'all know about lockdown? I did not go to fucking school to sit on lockdown in the dark. They will literally put a school on lockdown if they have enough fights. We had lockdown to the point where we could not have, they moved classes only by hallway, right? Hallway A, B, C. Only they can exchange classes. Like it's a prison. And there's no lunch. They bring the lunch to the classroom. They go down there like little prisoners, stand in that line, get that free food, that free nasty ass jail food, and they march their ass back in with their food. And then somebody takes a trash can down the hallway. Basically a prison lunch schedule. This is the type of shit we dealing with. Lockdowns and wondering who else is going to fight, who going to bust who in the head. Okay? And I'm telling y'all something that happened to me when I first was teaching at my first 3-4 years in the alternative school. We didn't have any windows, okay? And I was new to teaching. And I thought my kids was going to try me, because one of the things that happened, right, is they had power failure. And when the power failed at this particular school I was at, there was no light of day. It's literally black. And that's one of the stresses that I had in my life too. If that power failed, everybody in the school, the teacher would rush and lock the door, because we had a time where kids decided to just go fucking ape. So whoever's outside, they might, decide they're going to go find somebody or whoop somebody's ass, stick and move in the classroom in complete darkness. So when those lights went out, one of the things I did is I got my ass behind that fucking desk. And I told my kids, I said, let me tell you something. Y'all see all this African art? I have a whole bunch of African wood art on the wall behind me where I was teaching. Heavy, thick African art I brought back from Africa. I said, I tell y'all what, when the lights go out or we get on lockdown, I'm going behind my desk, under my desk. If anybody comes behind my desk or approaches me when it's dark, I can't promise you're not going to meet this wood. I just want y'all to know. And I did have a cane, big black ass ebony wood cane. I said, I promise you, if you come behind my desk. And I had to threaten kids, because some of them think they gangster. So violence is real. Violence is real. It's something that teachers have to deal with. Do you want when the lights go out and nobody can know who did what, and it might be out for 3 to 5 minutes or longer till they get the generators on? Do you want to be living in fear, knowing that that kid, whoever, the whole class could jump and beat your ass? Did we have that happen? Absolutely. We know because we've had that happen. We've had teachers, the lights go out, some, the kids jump their ass. Not totally beat the fuck out of them, but slap them, punch them, push them down. It happens. These kids, I'm here to tell you, they don't have no fear because they're protected. They got rights. So you're in a violent environment. Constant lockdowns, constant threats of violence. And y'all know how many bitches I've been called since I was a teacher? Do you know how many bitches I've been called to my face? Man, fuck you, bitch. Ain't nobody listening to you, bitch. But the school I was at, I had a culture. My students would be like, you can't talk to Miss Freeman like that. Nah, dude, you ain't talking to Miss Freeman like that. And I push a button on the wall. I say, Mr. Perry, I need your assistance, please. And Mr. Perry, very masculine military man, would show up, look in the window, unlock the door. He'd have 2 officers with him. Young man, let's go. That's it. I never had no real problems. Ever. Not really. Because that first sign of, oh, I'm a thug and I'm about to come and show out and be all okay. I'm gonna let you meet Mr. Perry. Mr. Perry make your ass disappear. But that is not the typical high school. Okay? That's not the typical high school. He said, even if 20% of the families were able to homeschool, that is a relief for the system. Not to mention, Ambassador, that sounds good, but you show me Black people who have the ability, male and female, mom and dad, to be at home to do that. That means your whole day is dedicated to schooling, especially if you got multiple children. Show me that's the norm that somebody can do. Where's that normal? I've actually created some homeschooling curriculum for my ex. Okay. With AI homeschooling, it's easy as hell. Well, yeah, see, homeschooling is a little complicated. Depends. Elementary school could be easier, but there's nothing, the socialization, and it's a lot of other things. How about the art element? How about it's so many other things? You have a lot of experiments. I'll show y'all my daughter's. I think I may have a video of it already. I'll just reshare that. My daughter's learning space. I've had to spend a lot of money on manipulatives and all kind of different, uh, you know, a lot of stuff. It costs a lot of money because you have to have real things, especially with little children. What we found out in COVID is that kids, especially elementary and middle school, they don't have the capacity to sit on computers. They don't. They're not learning from computers. They learn by doing. That's just the truth. Now, high school, they barely showed up for during COVID, you know, and COVID was our example to understand how actually being online and learning online looks. And a lot of kids, they were, we were on camera. The kids was shuffling around. Parents were literally holding our young elementary kids, trying to force them to look into the screen and to respond to the screen. They did not do very well with that. It was very difficult. You got to buy a lot of stuff. Think about experiments, right? Are you going to buy microscopes? I had to recently buy a globe, and I looked at the globes, and I mean, they were expensive. They were like $60, $70, and the one I want is 250. So what I did is I ended up buying multiple globes, some blow up ones. I bought the blow up ones because I figured that if I had the one that sits on the desk, it's not going to be fun to her. So what I do is I throw the globe to her and I tell her a country, and then I tell her to point to it. And when she points to it, she can throw it back to me. So I turn it into interactive learning, a little bit more physical to keep a young kid's attention. But I mean, where there's a will, there's a way. And parents can be creative as they want to be. But yeah, so this guy, he's talking about violence. And violence is something. That's what happened in Chicago. You got kids that are so used to violence. This is their go-to. They actually literally, like I said, call me a bitch. I had 2 times I had to actually walk out. I literally called the principal. I said, I'm about to leave. I'm getting my purse because if I respond, I'll be on channel 2. I gotta go. And I let her know. I let her know if I give you a call, I'm saving my career and I'm saving embarrassment for this whole school district. If I give you that call, I had to let her know. I said, because you do not have control and you don't have discipline. I talked to this woman so nasty. She even told me, if you want to transfer, Miss Freeman, I would write your transfer. Bitch, I'm not transferring. I'm going to leave education. You have proved to me that this shit is a joke. You have proved to me that this shit is a joke. I swear, ooh, if I ever saw her on the street now, these days, if I ever see that bitch again, I am going to cuss her fucking ass out. And it's not personal. It's because she was on some universally fuck shit. Okay. I mean, oh my God, the shit this woman, I mean, and her whole thing was like, I'm going to, she acted like a beauty queen. I'm never going to show any compassion or any worry. And what she's do, put her hand on the kid, no matter how fucked up the kid was. They could be standing right there in her face, cussing the teacher out. Man, that bitch ain't listening, no. But Miss So-and-so, that bitch ain't listening, no. And I'm just sitting there looking at her like, you cannot be serious. You cannot be standing there and you calm down. I've got this. That's what you tell kids. Calm down. She's tapping them on the arm, shoulder. I've got this. So the kids used to run to her for cover. Late as fuck, been cut class. Well, Miss So-and-so gave me a pass. And I would go to her and I say, well, how am I supposed to do my job? Keep control of my door in my classroom. And you keep bringing kids that's been walked out, went down there, did whatever, probably went outside, smoked weed. And you as a principal going to bring them back to my classroom and provide them a pass and entry. Are you fucking serious? Me and that bitch went heads up. I said, I need you to make your decision. I need you as a teacher to tell me what you actually want me to do. Do you want me to have order and actually teach, or do you just want me to be a babysitter? You just tell me what you want me to do. Because I knew I was on my way out the door. I didn't give a fuck. Me and that bitch went heads up. And I told her in front of this one girl that had cussed me all the fuck the way out. I said, I told her, I said, because I had to walk out to keep my job and my dignity and my pride. Because that girl made me walk out, you will not send her back into my classroom. I'm going to need you and her mama all together, her family, whoever, bring all the extended family. That girl is not, you got a choice. That's what I told her. Because you don't discipline and you don't care. That's what I told her. You don't discipline and you don't care, but I care. And that girl made me get my pocketbook. Because if I had responded, y'all cannot understand what it's like. You see what these kids in Chicago did? You don't understand what it's like to have children think they grown and step to you like they gonna do something. That heifer came over to my desk, started saying stuff to me. They're about 15, 16 years old. I'm talking to you. Oh, you can't answer? And her body language and all that. Oh, she was more than grown. And what do? When I see somebody being aggressive, I go to my desk. That's been my rule of thumb. They know me. I go behind my desk because once you come behind my desk, now we got a problem. Now I'm going to square you up. I went and I got behind my desk and said, y'all go ahead and work quietly. She got her ass up, came over to my desk, proceeded to walk back and forth, pacing around like she wanted to do something, hollering and talking to me crazy, cussing me out. I said, young lady, I'm going to need you to go ahead and go stand outside. I'll let the principal meet you out there. I ain't going nowhere. You hear me talking to you? Da, da, da. Oh, she was getting her hand and she was getting herself worked up. She was turning up and the bitch pulled the leg back and kicked the fuck out of my metal desk. And I heard a boom, boom, boom. I'm talking about a loud, the kids even jumped like, what the fuck? She kicked that shit like it was a soccer ball. She kicked my desk. Y'all know what I did? I leaned to the right, opened my drawer, gathered my things, got my cell phone. I walked right around her to the door, got on the cell phone, called the front desk. Can you let Dr. So-and-so, let her know that Miss Freeman is leaving? I'm leaving because I need to. in order to do the right thing and the professional thing at this moment. She can call me, but I'm going to my car and I'm going home. And then she called me or whatever, and she told me, "Oh, you know this and that. Or you just document it. Write this up. Write that up." I'm not writing shit. I'm not writing shit. I told her, I said, I'm not coming back into that classroom with that girl because she want to square up with me like she's grown. I'm not coming back into that classroom. I'm not asking you to do anything. I'm not. I'm well, Miss Freeman. I said I will be absent tomorrow till whenever. I'm not going back into that classroom. I'm basically telling you, you're gonna suspend her and get the fuck out. Move her out of my classroom. One of the two. This is the type of shit teachers deal with. You have violence in your face. Kids trying to fight you, trying to antagonize you to the point where you lose your cool. I'm not stupid. I'm educated. I'm intelligent. I'm not that emotional. So that principal, you see me walk out that front door, understand it's because I don't want to be on channel 2. Because that's what's going to happen. And I know I'm a ticking time bomb. I know it. I got anger management issues. And I told the bitch that. I said, I got anger management issues. So in order for me not to blow, I'm going to just go ahead and go. That's what I'm going to do. Before I sweep this floor with this girl or any other child that want to step to me. These are reality. These are people's children that act like this. No respect. Want to fight grown folks. And then if you told a parent that their child did that, no, he didn't. They would never do that. They be lying. You don't know your child. You saw that mother on Chicago, how she got up there talking about how the girl is smart and she's AB, but the bitch, and I said bitch, because you think you can whoop a grown woman's ass, you a bitch. You a bitch and your mama's a bitch. That little bitch sat there and put her hands on a grown ass woman. Do y'all know how common that is? If they ain't did it, they want to, and they think they can. These kids are dangerous. And let me add this too. There's a lot of kids you can't discipline because guess what? They come to school with guns. How do I know? We've had so many dogs that come through the school and they find guns and they find knives and they find drugs. I remember it was in a cafeteria. This boy wasn't even doing nothing. He dropped his book bag and guess what comes flying out, spitting on the ground? Big black ass gun. Everybody was like, "Oh shit." I think he just carelessly forgot it was in there, didn't zip his bag up. The motherfucker fell out in the cafeteria early in the morning. He wasn't even finna use it or nothing. He just had it. These kids got guns. You can't discipline nobody carrying a fucking gun. You cannot discipline somebody who carries a fucking gun. A lot of these kids are armed. They got too many rights. You can't check their book bag. Do you know what you got to go through to do a fucking search? These kids got all the rights. They got a right to bust you in your face. They got a right to cuss you out. They got a right to leave and come back when they fucking feel like it, and you better let them in. They got a right to come in smelling like weed. Me and that fucking principal, we argued about that. I said, you have kids. You smell the weed. I smell the weed. They left my classroom, walked out, went and been gone for 40 minutes, been smoking weed somewhere, come back smelling like weed. I send them away. Tell them go to the principal. And instead of you doing your job, you send this stinking motherfucker back to my door with a receipt from you to let him in. Are you crazy, bitch? Are you crazy, bitch? Me and that bitch went heads up. I showed my whole ass with her. I ain't gonna lie. And she never wrote me up because she knew I was right and she knew she couldn't fight nothing I had to say. I told her, I had several meetings with her. I told her, and I ain't holding no, y'all can see how I am. I'm professional, but I don't hold nothing back. I told her, I said, you know what? You the problem. I told her that you are the problem. They got people like you in charge. You are the prison, the pipeline. You have no standards for these children. You watch them cuss teachers out. You watch them fight and you do nothing. You have no expectations for these children. I said, and you're in leadership. And so I get back to that girl. She go, well, Miss Freeman, let's move on tomorrow. Just write her up and we'll deal with it. No, bitch. No. I want her mother. I want her and I want you. And I think I requested a counselor or somebody too. I put that shit in the email. I'll be back under these conditions. First thing that morning, she set it up. I want to confront her mother. Do you understand that your daughter did X, Y, and Z? Do you understand that your daughter is responsible for making a professional teacher decide that it was more important to go away from her child than stay in that classroom and risk anything else happening? I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of your child. But this is what your child has done. She has raised up against a grown-ass woman, a teacher. And I want to understand what's going on with you and your child. And I told the principal, I said, if I'm not satisfied, she's gonna have to apologize to me. And her mama gonna have to apologize to me. I'm not taking that shit. Because if you let it go, it'll happen again. We got to set a tone. I told the principal, you got to set a tone. You have no tone. You don't have any standards. You have no expectations for these children. And this is why the school gets worse. This is why it fails. I told her to her face. And after that meeting, I told her, I was so disappointed watching you sit here. Because that girl started talking to her mama crazy in the meeting. She didn't have no sense of cues or whatever. When her mama's talking, she started over-talking her mother. The principal's watching. And I told her after she left, I said, you know what? I've always had a lot of respect for administrators. I've always had a lot of respect for people who are community leaders and who have, advanced degrees and who are administration. I said, but I lost all respect when I watch you let that little girl sit there, you and her mama, and talk reckless like that. Her mother apologized for her after making lots of excuses. That girl at one point in the meeting stood her ass up while all three of us four black women are sitting down. She stood up on her 2 feet and raised her voice talking down to all of us. And that caused me, after that meeting was over, I held my own. I spoke to the mother, ignored the girl. But I told the principal after that, I said, you have no idea the self-control it took for me to watch you. I don't care what else is going on, to watch you as an educated PhD administrator. Allow that girl to stand up over all of us in your office, your spread of our office, and talk to all of us like this. I know her mama's there, but I'm talking about you. Oh, I lost all respect for you. I just want you to know that. I lost all respect for you right there. That bitch don't like me. Trust me. Because I'm a truth bringer. I'm going to tell it. I'm going to tell it like it is. And I told her she was doing a disservice to these children. I said, you are the prison the pipeline. You give them no standards, and so you're going to let them escalate to the point where they're going to basically all end up in fucking jail. Because when they get out on these streets and they don't listen and they don't conform, they don't comply and do what they're supposed to do, the police going to shoot them. The police will shoot them and drag them to jail. You coddling these children, allowing them to go out and smoke weed because you just want to be the nice lady. I know what it is. You just riding this shit out till you get your big time job over there where you don't have to deal with none of these little nigglets. You just biding your time. And y'all got to be careful with that. You got these niggas, these coon ass niggas that will sit their asses in administration, from the lowest to the highest level administration, from the principal and up, and they literally don't give a fuck. They smile, they put on a suit, they pretend they care. They don't give a fuck about your kid. Them same motherfuckers, let them kids raise up at them. They will call the fucking cops and have their ass taken away. They will have their ass in a fucking not court martial, what is it called? Tribunal. That's when you really find out. You can do it to the teachers, but let them do that to that suit. Let that administrator get that treatment and see how that turned out. They will have your kid banned from the fucking state. Y'all know that's an option, to be banned from the fucking state. These principals will sit there and cater to you when you come in and kiss your ass. Oh, yeah, we'll work it out. I know he's not learning anything, but we'll work it out. They'll cater to you. They'll do all of that. They'll kiss your ass because they just don't want no problems. They really don't care about your kids. They don't give a fuck about your kids. Let me finish playing this. But the violence is important. How you gonna teach a motherfucker who got a gun?
Prevented a kid from being beaten. I prevented a girl from being smashed in the head with an iPad. I was tired of getting hit. I was tired of being disrespected every single day as if I was nobody standing there. I wasn't a authority because there was nothing to stop them from doing anything. They don't suspend, they don't expel because that makes them look bad. It makes the numbers look bad. It's the system. The system is broken. It's a Title I school. They get food. You know what happens at the end of the day?
Okay, the numbers. Everything is driven by the numbers, y'all, in the schools. I just want to say that real quick. I'm gonna go to this next lady. Everything is driven by the numbers. That's what they'll tell you. You know, it's Title I, it's a poor school, and that means they have low expectations for the school. So if you send your child into a Title I school, you got a problem. Automatically. You got too many poor kids in one building, you got a problem. It's just a problem. The culture of poverty is real. You're not going to change it. You can have higher expectations. You can put a lot of rules into place, but most schools, the rules and the rights are against the teachers. Hear me well. Education law, most of the rules are against the teachers. You can't touch, you can't say this, you can't say that. I mean, at this point, we're tiptoeing around children. I was trained as a teacher in order to have a cooperative classroom. You can't ever point out a kid. Joshua, sit down. You can't do that. You got to do a whole bunch of other shit. You got to be what they call in proximity. Walk over, give them a look, a cue. Ask them, do they need help? Would you like some support? You understand? This ain't the same schools that we went to. They would call your name. Joshua, sit down. They would command and tell you what to do and expect you to follow. It don't work like that no more. We are scared of these fucking kids. We are trained to be scared of them. We are scared and trained for them to escalate. This is the new school. And so you got a lot of young millennials, they're coming up and they're saying, I'm not gonna go in no fucking school and I gotta be afraid. I gotta be trained to tiptoe around some fucking 12-year-old. Fuck I look like? What do I look like as an adult tiptoeing around a child? What the fuck do I look like? A lot of people who got sense ain't going for it. It's stupid. The system is broken. He's right. And that's everything in schools. And that's all about discipline, de-escalation, de-escalate. It's your job as a professional to de-escalate. Guess what? If your kids are out of control, they get on their cell phone. You tell them get off the phone. You can't tell them nothing. You got your classroom you're supposed to be teaching, and half of them got their phone out. They sit on their phone, tweeting this, that, da, da, da. You come by, you say something. This is my phone. Can't tell me what to do. You don't pay for my phone. I'm just telling you. You better not touch them. You better not take that phone. I've been down that road. I've been down that road. Had a student, I told her multiple times, I'm not finna keep telling you. Put the phone up. Put the phone up. Now I'm being aggressive because I'm telling her the rules of the class like it ain't on the wall, right? And then I told her, give me the phone. Because what I used to do is say, give me the phone, hold my hand out. After a couple of times. Like, we got to do this every day, seriously. I got to remind you, warn you multiple times every day, even though that's the rule of the school and the classroom. And then you tell me, I ain't giving you nothing. See? And then when she get an F and she ain't learning nothing, then it's still my fault. This is why teachers don't want to be bothered. And then the parents don't even know their child is illiterate. They don't know the child don't do no homework. They don't care. They're busy. They don't want to be bothered. You call the parent, they telling you, you a bad teacher. You just don't like my child. You just want to see him fail. This is the type of shit. And you got the principal just sitting there tapping their foot looking. And that's one thing I always did. I always asked the principal, can you be present? Because I had a lot of ghetto parents. A lot of uneducated ghetto niggas. I'm not finna sit here with this motherfucker to turn up on me. I'm gonna need my department chair and the principal come. I'm not having no meeting, just me and you. Fuck that. I don't trust you. It was like battle, man. It's fucking battle. These teachers do not want to teach these fucking nigglets. The parents don't want to be bothered with these nigglets. The parents don't want them. The administrators don't care. The teachers are tired. You can't discipline them. All the rules against the teacher. So you know that girl with the cell phone, you know what happened? I said, I'm going to ask you one more time to give me that phone. She said no. and her purse happened to be beside her desk. And she did this arrogant move where she took it, held it up in the air, and dropped it down into her purse. Like, bitch, you're not getting it. I'm putting it in my purse. And so what I did is when she did that move, I said, "Oh, really?" I reached down and I grabbed the phone. That girl yanked my arm, twisted my arm, and pulled the phone out. I let the phone go. I'm not finna fight you and lose my career. I let the phone go. I called the principal of discipline. I said, "Hey, this girl just grabbed my arm." And I let her phone go. He said to me, "Explain everything from the beginning to the end." I explained everything accurately. He said, "You know where you fucked up?" And that's the conversation a lot of teachers get. You know where you fucked up? And that's why you learn to just don't do nothing. You learn to eventually just don't give a fuck. You learn to just let them be animals. You learn to just let them not learn. You learn to just don't teach them no more. Just fuck it. So that's when you get to the babysitting service because all the rules are against the teacher. Everything is a fucking problem. And that's just one per class. You got 30 motherfuckers and they all acting a goddamn fool. They all on the phone. You gonna fight this? Put these fires out every day, all day? You tell me what you're gonna do is whack-a-mole. And I'm a teacher who got some basic respect. There's some teachers that don't get basic respect. You turn your back, they throwing something. We've had teachers, they put something in your drink. I had a teacher who was next to me and the boy kept grabbing her butt. He grabbed her butt so many times, and she was an older woman, much older than me now. He would slide his finger through the middle of her crack. They told her to move his chair further away from her. That's what they said. When we're changing classes, when he was coming out the door, he would take his finger and go up the back of her crack of her butt with his finger. Sick motherfucker. You know what he did? He drove her out. He drove her. That boy single-handedly drove. She told him, "I want him out of my classroom. He's sexually assaulting me every day." She literally quit her job as a teacher. She had been there probably like what, 15 years. She quit her job. I still talk to her. She said, I have, she took it all the way to the administration, to the top level. But at that time, she kept saying, he keeps doing this. He keeps doing this. And I was across the hall from her. And I was watching his ass. I was looking at him. Can't do nothing. He literally can sexually assault the teacher in front of people and ain't nobody gonna do shit. And I told her, I said, "You know what?" I said, I told her, I said, "I think at this point, he done that shit so many times, they won't move him out of your classroom. I think you need to put your hands on him." That's what I told her. I said, that's the only thing that's gonna stop this. Because apparently this woman, that's why I'm telling you, this Dr. John, that's her name. I don't give a fuck. Dr. John, piece of shit bullshit. Dr. John literally told her she can just get through the semester with this boy. And me knowing stuff like that, that's why I was talking to her in her office like a dog regularly. I would go in there with gripes and I would read her from the top to the bottom because I knew shit like this. I have literally a teacher across the hall from me who's being sexually assaulted. This boy is running his fingers through the middle of her ass when he passes her. She's 60 fucking years old. And you do nothing. You won't remove him. Oh, ooh, ooh. This woman is so disgusting to me. I swear before God, if I saw her in person again, woo, honey, I would unleash. I've never seen such a disgusting human being in my life. Okay. It's a lot, y'all. It's a lot. So when we look at Chicago and, people got all this stuff to say and they want to judge the administrators, they want to judge the parents, they want to judge the teachers. Oh, it's a whole bunch of people who have conspired not to fucking care. These are powder kegs. These are fucking powder kegs. High schools and middle schools are powder fucking kegs. Hear me well. These kids are walking around with guns in their book bags, and they have the right to privacy. Teachers don't have guns. This is why you leave these motherfuckers alone. This is why you don't call their parents. You understand? You call their parent today, you got to deal with the bullshit tomorrow. There are literally consequences to calling the parent these days. Kid will come to class and call you out. My mama told me you call. I've had it. My mama told me you call. She don't give a fuck. You wasting your time calling my mama. She don't like y'all anyway. They'll tell you what their mama said. They'll tell you. She said she ain't got time for that bullshit you talking about. They come in the classroom talking shit. I had one student, he actually was smart enough to have his mother's number blocked from the school number. Because you know, all teachers, we feed into one hub. It's going to say so-and-so school, right? He took that number and had it blocked in the phone. She couldn't get no calls. Because I told a principal, I said, I even tried to call this nigga acting like he acting like a radical, like he ain't got no consequences. He acting a bum, cold fool. I said, something is up with that. I told him, I said, I'm gonna call your mom. He literally did not give a fuck. Like, just that threat, he was thinking like, and what? He already knew he had blocked the number. These kids are fucking smart. They'll intercept emails. They'll do all kind of shit. Don't let you be foreign and your kid got to translate from you. That's a whole nother ball game. Talking about these foreign East African kids, these Somalis. You think they're going to translate? If you talking shit on the phone about them, you think? Shit. You think the Somali kid is going to hand the phone to his mother when he sees the school is calling? Shit. You think she can't read, daddy gone somewhere? You think he's going to say, we got parent teacher conference? That's a whole nother ball game. When you get to these slick second generational East African refugee kids, they gangsters fuck. And then they come with misogyny. They literally are not listening to you because you're a female. Now, one of my friends was a teacher. She was her class full of Somali kids. And she used to go to fuck off every day. They used to tell her, you can't tell me. You can't tell me. You cannot tell me. That's what they used to tell her. They English is, they learned that. You cannot tell me. They're not used to no woman telling them what to do. She had to show them and push up against them constantly. This other thing about Title I, that's a problem. I'm gonna just tell y'all the truth. I know something about schools. Yeah, Gabe, it is a lot. It's crazy. The discipline is not there. The violence is everywhere. One fight turns into 5 fights. You spend a lot of your time in lockdown worrying about shit. You got to deal with kids. They're going to turn up on you. They're going to cuss you out. Are they having a bad day? Because they'll take their shit out on you. You ain't got to do nothing as a teacher. They didn't went somewhere and got picked on, or somebody, made them mad. They got rejected or something happened to them. They'll come to the classroom and talk crazy to you. My first 15 years were beautiful. I had a lovely classroom. The environment was right. It was conducive to learning. Everybody was in alignment. It worked. I had a culture I created where it was understood that we're all going to respect each other. I'm going to respect you. I told my kids on the first day, I said, my job as a teacher is to succeed, and I can't succeed unless you succeed. And in order for us to succeed, we got to respect each other. And you're young, and I respect you, and I'm older than you. You respect me. And we're going to do that together. That's what we're going to do. We're going to learn together. We're going to respect each other together. We can do anything in here together. All y'all need to pass the Georgia High School graduation test. We're going to do that together. I inspired my kids. They could never hate me. They could never hate me. I loved my kids, and they loved me. We had a lot of fun. Matter of fact, they used to actually have to send somebody down there to calm my kids down. We used to play a lot of games. I call it candy game. We had a lot of fun in there. Oh my God. I used to cook for my kids. We used to have all kind of stuff. I used to have them come to my house. We make collard greens, go to farms. I had all kind of extracurricular stuff that had nothing to do with the school. I took my kids. They went to the farmer's market. We learned about soul food. We cooked soul food together. We went farming together. I used to make field trips because they're grown. My kids were 16, 17. They had their own cars. They could just meet me there. So we got field trips. And I remember a couple times I was just like, look, we all just gonna disappear from school, okay? This period. We just gonna all happen to go to X, Y, and Z. I do this shit during school sometimes. Because my school, we had an open campus. You could come and go as you needed to. So sometimes we do that. We celebrate. We're gonna meet at this restaurant. Miss Freeman's paying for everybody. Right? I loved my kids. But these last 2 years, woo, baby, it was hell. It was pure hell. It was pure hell. Let me finish. Let's go to the next person. So this Chicago shit is just bringing out a harsh reality and making people look. How did it happen? How did these kids get violent? How did they think this shit been going on? Y'all don't know your fucking kids. You think you do. You know how many times I had parents tell me, "Yeah, my child doesn't curse. My child would never do that. They're raised in this kind of family, and that kind of family." And I started saying to him, I said, "You know what? I'm intelligent. I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm not gonna argue with you." I said, "Let me ask you, can I have your permission to send you video or audio?" They say yes. That's all I need. I'm not gonna argue with you. So you telling me he's failing, and it's because of me, right? I'm his teacher and I'm not being fair to him. Okay. And it's not because he's sleeping every day. He keeps putting his head down. He's sitting in class for 5 minutes. Next thing you know, he's asleep. And you can't touch him. You cannot touch a sleeping kid. That's another rule. Do not touch the sleeping kid. You can't tap their desk. You can't do any of that. All you can do is stand, and you have about 2 times. You can say, "Excuse me, so and so. Can you please sit up? Excuse me, so and so. Can you please sit up?" That's it. After that becomes harassment. You understand? This is the type of environment you want people to be like scholars in. You can't even wake them up. Okay. You can't touch them and tap them or nothing. Don't do that. If you tap them and they fuck around and they say, "Ooh, I was startled and I punched you in your nose," it's your fault as a teacher. I'm just telling y'all. All the rules are against the teacher. You can't do no discipline. You got to tiptoe around them. You can't say nothing to them like calling their name. That's an act of aggression. "Johnny, I need you to sit down." Now, when I had my classroom, the first 15 years, I sometimes had to cuss at them. I had a couple of little thugs. They didn't understand basic English. And I go over to them. I did this growl close to them. "If you don't sit your ass down." And the rest of the class did not necessarily hear this. I just come over to them. "You don't sit your ass down." That's why they used to say Miss Freeman crazy. And I used to make a little joke sometimes. I had a couple of rough ones, and I'd be like, "You know what? So and so, stay behind. Stay behind." I said, "All I need is a broom closet. Me and you." I used to make jokes like, "Miss Freeman, you crazy." I said, y'all want me to take him to the broom closet?" And so that would be a joke. "Miss Freeman, just take him to the broom closet." And the reason why I said broom closet is because it's a space where there's no cameras. That's the joke. And I can whoop your ass in there. And that was my way of saying, I need to whoop you need your ass whooped. And the kids, they understood. It was an ongoing joke. "Miss Freeman gonna take you in the broom closet, away from the cameras, so you can get your ass whooped. But I had a working relationship with my kids, very personal relationship with them. They understood me. So anyway, let me go back.
If they don't eat the food, even though it's unopened, they throw it in the trash. The system is broken. I was tired of watching the good kids, the great kids who had a great family life, be sucked into the negativity and the bad behavior and the overall thought that school doesn't matter, who the hell cares? I'm just here to hang out with my friends. I was tired of not being able to get in touch with any parent ever. The ones that I needed to talk to, at least. I was tired of being told every single time, "Just document it, just write it down, just document it, just document it, just document it," and nothing gets done. You're just documenting for no reason. I was tired of saying, "You have detention," and being laughed at, knowing that they're not going to show up at the detention, and then nothing else is going to happen, and I can't reach home. So then what am I supposed to do? They don't care about their grades either.
Yep. So all of that's true. You can't call home. The numbers don't work. The parents are unstable. They're always moving around from school to school, and you'll deal with that too. And there's no father on listed a lot of times. And if he did, like I've had a lot of situations, I finally get a father, and then he wants to spend the first 10 minutes telling me the history of how him and her broke up and how she don't let him be a father. I got to deal with all that. I also had one student who I tried to call his stepfather, and he told me, "Well, you can call that nigga if you want to." He said, "I beat his ass." And he bragged to the class, about how he beat his stepfather's ass. I sat there with my mouth wide open. I could not believe it. And it was true. He had turned up. But see, that's the problem when your stepdaddy about your age. Yeah, you whoop his ass. Yeah. So you deal with stuff like that. You got people, women who are dating younger men. So the mama's 35 and she got a boyfriend that's 21 and her son is fucking 17. And you trying to act like he's a father to this boy? Really? And that's why they get their asses whooped. There's a lot of that, like dynamics. I saw a lot of that. The kids are living in domestic violence situation. So they're watching their mom and her boyfriends or whoever in the house whipping each other's ass. So their natural inclination when they have a conflict is to come to school and whoop people's asses. So they grew up in a culture of violence and it's very normal. And there's no discipline. A lot of times you say you're going to write somebody up, you just you write it, you complain, you put emails together, nothing happens. Those kids can come back the next day and do the same shit. That's how they learn they can call you a bitch or a nigga or whatever. Because they say something to you, you write it down, you send it, you know, to the principal for discipline, nothing happens. Nothing. They come back, they call you a bitch again. Basically, you can basically write a bitch report every day and nothing's gonna happen. They don't suspend, they don't put them out of school, they don't do anything because it's the numbers. It all boils down to the numbers. The school has to keep the discipline numbers down, right? They're only gonna do so many write-ups. No matter how much happens, you can only write up a kid so many times. So basically, they throw that shit in the trash. You reporting, doing all that reports and paperwork, they tell you, just put it on paper. Did you put it on paper? You put it on paper, nothing happens. You'll be bitch every day till the end of the school year. If that kid want to call you a bitch every day, you're going to be a bitch. And then you learn to just get along with these motherfuckers. Just be cool. And I'm going to be honest with y'all, this is the dangerous part. Because what happens for a lot of teachers, you say to yourself, why is there so many teachers molesting kids? Pedophiles become attracted to these spaces because of these dynamics. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I've seen a couple in my life. I've seen a couple teachers, male teachers particularly. Oh, I've seen one female. What happens is they come and they stay and they get comfortable. I can be cool with the kids. That's what they call it, cool with the kids. Anytime I've ever seen teachers who try to be cool with the kids instead of be professional, instead of being a disciplinarian, somebody who provides guidelines and standards. I see you smiling too much with the kids. Everybody, all the kids on that hallway shaking your hand, hugging you, all these affections and shit. When I hear kids say, "Oh, so and so, he a cool teacher," I be like, translation molester. Unless you a coach and you got a football team, that's the only exception. But when I hear that, most of them motherfuckers are perverts. So and so cool. I'm talking about male and female. So and so cool. I'm not saying I respect that teacher. I'm talking about that word cool. If you ever hear your kid in high school, ask your kid now, if you got kids in high school, ask your kid which teachers are the coolest. Y'all looking at a molester. And that's what they do. They get out of their age. They dress more like the kids a lot of times, if they're young enough. They treat the kids like they're equal. I've seen this shit. It's very dangerous. I had a teacher's aide, a male black teacher's aide, very attractive black man with dreads. He taught in my classroom with me for 2 years. I was very, very concerned about him. I had a particular when the girls be like, "He fine, he fine, he fine." I had one girl in the class who literally was sexually harassing him. And I call it harassing because he's in a professional space. She wanted to make her affections for him known in front of fucking me. I'm a teacher. I'm a professional. How dare you? These kids don't have no boundaries. So when I hear that a girl thought she could whoop a grown woman ass, I'm not surprised. I have girls in my class who would loud talk, sexual talk about a male assistant teacher in front of me and him. I had 3 days in a row. I had to put her ass out. I put her out and I wrote her up. I wrote her up. She was talking nasty and sexual about him loud to other girls in the classroom. Sexually aggression. You have girls who are sexually aggressive towards male teachers. There are teachers who are male who won't tell anybody. I witnessed the shit. He didn't report it, I did. Come to find out, Coach Skeen, I'm calling names, I don't give a fuck. Look it up. Stonecrest Mall, Lithonia High School. Lithonia High School, Stonecrest Mall. Look it up in the fucking Google. He ends up fucking a student. I was always suspicious of him. Always. He was too fucking cool. He hugging everybody. Wearing cologne to school and shit. Too goddamn comfortable. You ain't one of them, nigga. You a teacher. Act like one. I was always uncomfortable with Coach Skeen. Yeah. The girls, look it up. Google it. Coach Skeen. Skeen, I believe. Skeen. His mugshot is there. They tracked him from Lithonia High School. The girl's mama knew her daughter was missing and did not know where she was. She had put a tracker on her daughter. She comes to Stonecrest Mall, 10:30 at night. There's articles on it on Google. This nigga talked with me 2 years. I was always uncomfortable with how much he thought he was one of them. You're not the same, nigga. Act your age. Them kids don't need you to be cool with them. It's bullshit. Mom's like, wait, 10:30, where my daughter at? What's the fuck going on? She turns the GPS on. She said, oh, my daughter's at Stonecrest. Stonecrest Mall is a big mall with a big ass parking lot. The mall has closed at 9 o'clock. The employees then left by 9:30. There's one car just sitting out there. So it was not hard to figure out. The mom's GPS apparently is very good. Geotag, whatever the fuck she's using. She sees a car in the parking lot. This is the car of Coach Skeen. And it is going up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down. The mom sits there for 2 to 5 minutes videotaping this shit. She's looking at her daughter's GPS right there in that car. The dot is in the car. She's sure of what's going on. That mom is very smart. That mom proceeds to live stream, record. I won't say live stream. I'll say record. That mom proceeds to record everything. Because what we're not going to do is play stupid and lie later on, right? She got her GPS. She's got her data. She's upset as fuck. Can you imagine how you would feel your 16, 17-year-old daughter is missing, MIA, and you find out she's in somebody's car? She doesn't know it's a teacher at that time. But she's figuring it's somebody who's a lot older than her daughter. Her daughter's underage. And whoever that motherfucker is about to get caught. Okay? So mom is live videotaping, you know. Now, I'm not saying she's broadcasting. I'm saying she's videotaping in live time. Like, I'm going to get this shit on my camera. I'm going to find out who this motherfucker is, and you going to jail. She comes and knocks on the window. She calls her daughter's name. Her daughter lets the window down. They're pulling clothes on, this and that. Of course, the car stops going up and down. She's videotaped the whole thing. She's proceeding to ask her daughter, who is this? Who is this? The girl tells her the name of the person. Girl, the mom said to daughter, just stay right there. Don't move. She turns off the video camera, calls 911. We're going to handle this right now, right here. In live time. Ain't nobody going nowhere. Police come. He gets arrested on the spot. Teacher. Lithonia High School. Look it up. I ain't lying. This is the type of shit we have going on in the schools. You got child sex predators, unprofessional adults, all kind of shit going on. The schools are a powder keg. Take your children out of these public schools. My daughter's not going to high school. I can tell y'all that now. I'll be lucky if she make it to middle school. She's going to school now, and I drive her 20 fucking miles away. I drive her 20 miles away. No, it's like 15. It's 20 minutes. I drive her 15 miles away to a school that meets my standards and expectations. We got koi ponds and greenhouses. You understand? We have classical music during lunch. It's a whole different vibe. I know better than to let my daughter, this is a middle class area, professional class, but the standards ain't there. The standards are not there. I can't send my daughter to this. And I don't know if I told this story not that long ago. The boy down the street, I had to stop a boy from bullying him. I got all the parents involved. I sure did. Mom and dad of this one went to see mom and dad of that one. But the part that blew my mind, I told him, get off him. Get your hands off him. Get your hands off him. I'm just playing. You're not playing. I know the difference. I told him, I said, I'm a teacher. I was a far distance. I saw the shit close to the bus stop. I said, get your hands off him. I'm just playing. I said, get your hands off him. We got to have people in the community who stop this type of shit. Because that kid is getting bullied. He's going to turn around and bully somebody else. Or somebody going to get hurt. Okay? So I intervened. But do you know that kid rose up at me? He said, lady, go in your house. That's what he said. He said to me and pointed his finger, lady, go in your house. I came down my driveway and I started walking towards him. I said, who you talking to? Lady, go in your house. I said, I'm going to get my keys and I'm going to come down there and get you. And then I'll be at your house with your parents. He shut the fuck up there. These kids think they can talk to parents and adults any kind of way. That's what I told him. I will go get my key. You think because I'm on foot that you can stop me? Nigga, if I get in this car, I will follow you home and I don't have to come right now. I can come tomorrow and I can see what your parents are made of. And I can tell them some shit about how you behave and that you bullying. But I got these parents. I told both sets of parents what's going on. And they met. And those two men met. The two dads met. And in front of the boy who's being bullied, the father told his son, no son of mine is finna be a bully. If you think you're gonna bully somebody, I'm gonna be your bully. That's what his dad said. And his dad shook hands with the other dad and he told him, you ain't gonna have to worry about my son no more. And the little fat boy, the one being bullied, I always look out for him. That dad told him, he said, if you have any more problems out of him, you let me know. So that father was letting his son know that the person you fucked with knows, his father knows, you got a whole circle here because you're going to do right. That's what it takes, y'all. That's what it takes. Let me tell y'all the difference when there had been two single mothers. I'm just saying, where fathers are not doing their job, fathers are not present. Let me tell y'all how that would have worked out. Mom A would have told Mom B, my son ain't no bully. He ain't do shit to your son. Bitch, get out of here. Get off my fucking yard, bitch. You ain't shit, hoe. I'm telling y'all. That's how that goes down. There is a balance that men bring to the situation. Problem solution. Men have a fucking purpose. That's why you got a goddamn daddy. Because your mama is feeling. And she wants to think the best of you. That's why my conversations with mothers and I required to have other people present. Because I get tired of the gaslighting. I get tired of lying. So what I told him to do, I tell you what, you don't believe he cursed? Next time he starts to cursing, I'll send you a video. I got your permission, right? Yeah. So I started sending mom videos. They used to think I was COINTELPRO because their mama would send it to them. Oh, you don't lie? Oh, you don't sleep? What's this? Dang, Miss Freeman, you sent that to my mama. You goddamn right. Neither one of y'all is gonna make a lie out of me. I use technology to my benefit. Parent, give me permission. Oh, you think he ain't? Oh, you think he doing his work? Oh, you don't. Oh, you don't think he out there doing X, Y, and Z? Let me show you. They thought I was co-intel. My kids would be so scared to do shit around me. They be like, Miss Freeman gonna snitch on you. She gonna tell. I damn sure will. And I have video to back it up. One of my neighbors down the street, his daughter thought she was slick. She was sneaking out the side of the house. I be sitting on the porch a lot. I'm the old lady who sit on the porch looking. I see some shit she was doing. I said, what the fuck is this? Oh, your daddy go out of town, and now you coming out through the side of the house. Hmm. He got cameras on, but he don't be looking. I saw her good little outfit, got in the car, sneaking out the side of the. Why'd she come out the side of the house like that? I took a picture of the car. Took a picture of her getting in. I said, hey, so and so, I noticed you out of town. Your daughter, I don't know, is she supposed to be going so and so? Girl, 14, 15. She ain't got no business getting no grown person's car. I don't know what she doing. And she got through the back of the car. That's how I knew. Something ain't right. He called his daughter, something. He said, thank you for telling me. Thank you for telling me. But she said she ain't do so and so. I was already prepared. I said, let me send you the picture. Let me send you the picture. He called her in live time to see what she was up to. She was lying. No, I'm not. I'm not anywhere. I'm at home lying. Her mom, they from some other country. That's why I say they can get over on foreign parents. Let me play the second video. Let me play the second video. These kids is getting fucked in the schools by pedo adults. So there's part of that too. There's part of that too. Nobody wants to talk about these things. I turned that shit in to the principal. I said it's very inappropriate for this young lady to be saying, what did she say? Oh my God. I can't remember what she said. She said, I think she said I'll sit and spend that. Something like that. It's some kind of term they have. It was back then, so I can't remember. It was something, it was something highly sexual. If you hear it, you'd be like, oh shit. She said it very loudly. I turned her in for sexually inappropriate um conversation. Oh, them kids talk about all kind of shit. These kids think they're grown. Y'all know I found out that the kids have something called a post up. POST, post up. I have several kids be absent from school, and I didn't understand that. Same class, different combination of kids sometimes. And or they would come to school and they be talking about, yeah, that post up was this, that post up was good. And I, I've always had kids that'll let me and clue me in. I say, hey, so wait till the end of class. What they talking about? I'm so nosy. What they talking about? What's a post up? I learned teabagging. I didn't know what teabagging was at that time. Somebody said to somebody it would teabag them. And so I have like a couple of trusted girls in my class. I said, so what is a teabag? What is that? I have to ask them because some of this shit is not on the what you call it, the ghetto encyclopedia online. I used to use that when I could, but some of this shit ain't on there. So I asked them what teabagging. I said, "Oh no." I think somebody at some point asked me, Miss Freeman, you ain't never had no teabag? And I just when I hear certain shit, I don't know. I just look at them. I don't say nothing because I know they trying to fuck with me. I be like, I don't know what that means. So my name is Bennett. I'm not responding to that. I don't know what the fuck you talking about. But I asked them after class, what is that? But they had a post up, and I heard the kids. And as much as you like them to shut up while they're in class, you can't really stop them from talking. Because I would hear all kind of y'all the shit I have heard. Oh my God. A lot of these kids are bisexual and their parents don't know it. They'll tell you, I like girls and I want her. They be, oh my God, kids, these parents do not know their fucking kids. I had this one boy, I had to tell his mother that he keeps grabbing the penis of other boys. I cannot take a picture of that. But I need to tell you that this is the problem I'm having with him in the classroom. He's flirting. He's grabbing penis in the class. they're grabbing each other's penis. It's a problem. People don't know their kids like they think. These must be gay and they be bisexual. They be doing all kind of shit at school. Okay. Also, the kids have domestic violence at school, believe it or not. A lot of these girls got low self-esteem. I've had a couple of boys that I had to straighten out and send to some men. Yeah, grabbing penis. They grab each other dick. Yep. And at first, I was thrown off because I wasn't sure what was going on. But when I saw one of them, he was grabbing him by he kept grabbing him and pulling him in by his belt. And that's when I said, wait a minute, what's going on? And then he would have the belt where it's like about 10 inches extra of belt, and he was hanging on to it and pulling the boy by the. I'm like, y'all sit down. What are you doing? You understand what that looks like? The person has a belt on, and it's like an extra 10 inches of the belt, and he's pulling it and tugging it and pulling the guy's abdomen. And then the other guy's wrestling with him. It was like some kind of, they both seemed heterosexual. I got to say that they didn't seem gay. But some of the stuff they were doing, the visuals of it, they were giggling and grabbing each other's dick. Totally heterosexual behavior as far as the outward. But the shit they're doing is real gay. And I realized I took the two of them and I said, okay, you're going to sit over here and you're going to sit over here. I had to separate them. And I told her mom, I said, this is part of the problem. Your son is doing a lot of weird stuff. And you got to be easy, even that. You got to be careful. I could have gotten in trouble had she been one of them woke moms. What do you mean by weird? Do you think that he's having fun with another boy is weird? Are you a homophobe? See, I got away with weird. I just told her weird. I didn't want to call the son gay. I didn't want to say your son acting gay as fuck. I can't say that. See, he's doing some weird things with the other boys in the back of the classroom. That's all I can say, weird stuff. Okay? But these motherfuckers be on some more shit, y'all. So the post up, let me get back to the post up. The post up. Gabe said, whoa, man, I'm trying to tell you, I got my motherfucking stripes, okay? I done seen it all. These kids be talking about oral sex. Y'all know how many times I have to tell people, shut up? I have to break up groups. They supposed to be doing group work. And I hear them talking about, yeah, I was licking and it. Hey, we're in school. These kids growner than y'all know. These kids be 14. They done ate ass. They done had anal sex. These kids done everything. I done had to talk these girls. That's why I got that book, Why Men Love Bitches. I have had to give that book to I don't know how many girls. Because I find out in their conversation, I ain't trying to hear nothing. Teachers need to just put some fucking earplugs in. Because one thing about us is we call mandatory reporters. When we hear certain shit, we're supposed to report it to the social worker. You understand? By law. So I had to shut them up. Hey, because I'm not finna solve these. This your mama and your daddy jurisdiction. I'm not finna solve none of these problems. But post up, let me tell you what post up is. These high school kids do what you call post up. A post up is a what? A freak party during the day when you're supposed to be at school. Did y'all know that? I call a girl saying, what they talking about? Post up. Well, I hear an announcement to the kids. Yeah, man, we are. Did you get invited to the post up? They rent out 2-3 cheap motel rooms here in DeKalb County. They get liquor from that older cousin. Nigga too young, old to be around high schoolers because he in the mix. All the girls think they strippers, right? So the freaky girls get invited to the post up. Post up means hotel freak party instead of school. That's what that means. These kids are having arranged, planned post ups. They even charge for the shit. They even charge for it. They be selling tickets to the hotel. Anything goes. They got weed, they got Molly, they got drugs. They got some shit that make your skin tingle. I forgot what that's called. Make your skin tingle. Fuck. It's supposed to be what is it? It makes your body really what's the word? I don't know. Ecstasy. That's it. Ecstasy. Yeah. See, it's ecstasy. See, Gabe, we're not supposed to know these things. You understand? We're not supposed to know. I'm trying to tell y'all, I lost my innocence. I lost my innocence from fucking high school teaching. I lost my innocence from high school teaching. Them motherfuckers be doing shit I never knew young people would do. By the time they are 15, y'all, when they told me about T.I. and T.I. was guarding his daughter, taking her to get vaginal checks to make sure she was a virgin. When I tell you, if you have a daughter, if you think you're paranoid, be 10 times more paranoid. Don't let her ass go nowhere with nobody. These kids are so grown and low down. Be paranoid as fuck about your girls and your boys. Because these older motherfuckers out here are predators. The peers they have are trying to turn them gay. Be so particular. Have your kid in a sport where they can't even look up. Have their ass in gymnastics. Have them so obsessed with something real in life, they don't got time for socializing. I'm trying to tell you, these kids out here blew my fucking mind. They got drugs, they got alcohol, they in there tooting it up, having sex, doing all kind of shit in these hotel rooms. And then they come back and, oh, I forgot. Can't forget about the videos. They do pornography. We had that happen a couple times. Oh, that's a horrible thing. When the pornography start from the post up start going around the school. Oh my God. Y'all be like, dang, May is innocent. Y'all can tell I done seen some shit. I didn't see some. How am I supposed to not know about the pornography that's going viral in the school? Did y'all even know that was a thing? It happens all the time. And nobody talks about these things. The schools are a powder keg. The schools are a bastion of degeneracy. Do not skip, Ambassador. Don't send your kid to no motherfucking high school. That's all I can tell you. The high school has 10 times more bullshit going on inside it than the regular world. I'm gonna just say that. Because these people are young, they're unhinged, they don't care, they want to impress each other, they're vulnerable. They're driven by their emotions, they're not mature. They don't know what to do with all of this. They try everything. They try drugs, they try sex, they try homosexuality, they trying to get pregnant. I had girls that, oh my God. I had some times I just say, I can't. I throw my hands up. Had a girl, we were writing, she was talking about she can't wait to get pregnant. She's trying to get pregnant. That's why me and my boyfriend trying to get pregnant now. What am I supposed to do with that? We're supposed to be writing a poem about love. And you talking about that's why you and your boyfriend trying to get pregnant. You 15, 16. What am I supposed to do? Where's your mama and your daddy? You understand? This shit is crazy. I got so many years of experience, but the porn going around the school, that shit is horrible. These little girls, y'all, guard your children. These little girls, the boys say, hey, I'm talking about the post up. That has its own porn, the post up porn. After they get done having a sex party, wild out Diddy party, that shit start flowing around the next day. Those who couldn't come, they want video. Okay. And these little girls don't have no, and little boys, they don't have no sense to not do stuff. They want to do everything on the internet. So your child, if they're 15 or 16, they may very well have friends or themselves having porn out here that they created, they own porn, or people made porn of them. It's possible. So at the school, we had to actually literally hunt down the culprits. They get on Instagram, they get on Facebook, they start spreading the porn. This little boy asked the little girl, let me show me your titties. They don't understand that when that little girl shows her titties to you, you get mad with her. You don't like her anymore. So now you mad because she won't give you no sex or she's talking to some other boy. So you decide you're going to spread her porn to other boys. And it started going around the school. And girls is hating on her, so they spreading the porn too. We had to literally tell each and every time, make announcements. Do you all realize you are participating in child pornography? Even if you are viewing it and you are also underage. She's underage, he's underage. You are participating in child pornography. You will be prosecuted. We had to ask kids, whose username is that? Whose username is that? This is the primary account. This shit goes back to the schoolhouse. The police department don't deal with this shit. The school got to deal with it. Then she started getting bullied and harassed because her titties is everywhere. Ha ha, bitch. They get you a nickname. They start talking shit. Then the kid talking about they're going to commit suicide. Now they're at the counselor. Y'all, I done seen it all. I have seen it all. I've seen it fucking all. This shit, high school, Gen Z, y'all. I quit teaching what, five years ago. You can't pay me to go back in that bitch. It's toxic as fuck. The parents don't care. The administrators don't care. The teachers are overwhelmed. All of that shit that I dealt with, what the fuck do you want me to do? I have girls telling me that this weekend their 30-year-old boyfriend is coming to pick them up for the weekend. Who am I supposed to call her mama? Ask her mama why is her daughter is allowed to go with this 30-year-old man for the weekend? What am I supposed to do hearing that as a teacher? So basically, this is a planned child molestation, child assault. Okay, I didn't hear that. Y'all shut up. Don't talk. Be quiet. Y'all do your work. That's all I got. And the only other answer I had was to pretend I didn't hear certain shit because the mama don't care. Daddy don't care, or he ain't around. And forgive me for saying mama so much, but mama is the only one who actually showed up for the child. Daddy ain't nowhere around. His number is not in the system. He's absent. So we're not blaming mama, but mama's who we talk about because daddy doesn't exist. Okay. But Why Men Love Bitches is the book I passed around to my girls because I needed to get them to understand. I can't be your mother, but I can give you some advice. These older men are playing with you because you're a child. And they don't respect you as a child. They're playing with you. And you don't deserve to be played with. You deserve to be respected. Stay in a child's place. That's what I used to tell them. And here's why. This is how this works. Why men love bitches. Women have to respect themselves. You're not respecting yourself. And you out here wanting to play the dating game. But I was going to say, that's another thing. I had domestic violence situations. I had boys that would rough up girls. Got to deal with that. Y'all know that? Some of y'all got daughters that's getting abused by a boy. He ain't bought her clothes on her back. Can't put her food in her mouth. She get into the school. He coming, twisting her arm and shit. Calling her all kind of bitches. Making scenes. Oh, honey. Girls get bullied through domestic violence at school. Girls are coming to school and dealing with domestic violence in the school and the school only. Literally. I've had to do a couple of interventions with that. I'm just playing with her. That's what they love. Abusive kids love, bullying kids love to say, I'm just playing. And all of this shit, a lot of it's documented. You write it up, you send it up the chain, they don't do shit about it. I see the boy again. He just like the teacher, she got the finger going up her ass by the student. Ain't nobody did. She just paperwork everywhere. Most of it's thrown away. Nobody cares. Who's going to do something? The black parents don't care. They don't have a PTA. Nobody's involved. They don't want to be bothered. Half the time we don't have their number. Nobody fucking cares. These are throwaway kids. So my daughter cannot go to school with throwaway kids. Y'all understand? She's not a throwaway. So she cannot go to school with throwaway kids. This is the problem in Chicago. What did those people do? They moved that lady out. Why couldn't she move out? I don't know. I have to look into it. But why was she there in the first place? Why is she in an environment like that? I'm big on people taking and changing your options. That's what I'm big on. Move yourself. Move your life. Move your options. You have to. Or you failing your kids. That shit don't make no sense. I don't know much about that family. I don't know if there's mom, dad with the sickle cell or whatever. I don't know. I have to look deeper. And then, it's crazy because, Chicago. We're just so outraged. We're so outraged. Y'all know y'all live in a cesspool of toxicity. Stop playing. Stop putting on for America. Stop it. All of y'all are absent parents. Y'all are not involved. Y'all don't stop the bully down the street. Y'all don't tell the kids, I'll come see your mama. Y'all don't do that. Y'all don't keep order around. You stop pretending and putting on for the gram. Cut that shit out. You ain't fooling nobody. If it was all of that, this shit would have never happened. If it was really like that, those kids collectively would have never thought that they could publicly out in public be in an environment that they could actually whoop somebody's ass, especially an adult. If y'all was that tight, all of y'all are lying. All of y'all are toxic. All of y'all are poverty infested. All of y'all have a fucked up, degenerate culture. And now the world knows. That's all. People been talking about Chicago. All Chicago ain't bad. My ex-boyfriend, he grew up in Evanston, Chicago. Kid of privilege. He did not have none of those experiences. He didn't grow up in a bad neighborhood. Parents are educated, both mom and dad. Okay. So you create the environment based on your choices. And that's why I'm gonna get to my last point. I am a proponent. I don't care what these people say. I don't care if he's immoral, you think Christian is, da, da, da. I believe we need to make abortion fucking free in America for everybody. That's what I believe. And I know that's gonna sound mean, but you can't put the genie back in the bottle later. And I'm gonna let this lady talk, and y'all gonna see why I'm saying what I'm saying. The future is dark because we have a lot of unwanted children in the world, and they become demons because they don't have a choice. How do you blame a demon for being a demon? They don't have a choice. Nothing about their circumstances, environment, situation, their history, their past, the conditions when they were born, nothing about that was going to turn out okay. Nothing. So they default to demon. They default to demon. I need y'all to hear me. They default to demon. And the more rules and stuff and the rights and all of this stuff, the training wheels, the safeguards, the more those things come off, the bigger and badder the demons are going to get in schools and everywhere else. I heard white supremacists say, just let them niggas kill each other. Let them all just kill each other. Who cares about Chicago? Just let them take each other out. I'm telling y'all, we need free abortion. Easy access, free abortion across America. All you moral motherfuckers, y'all are stupid. It's not about morality. If we're going to look at morality, let's look at quality of life. Half of these kids, if the shit had been free, they wouldn't have to be here. Y'all gonna say I'm mean, I'm crazy, blah, 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 I'm evil, whatever. We need to make abortion free and easily accessible to anybody who needs it in America. Fuck that birth rate, fuck all of that. Because we do not need to be breeding demons. And I'm just talking about Chicago right here. Oh, I have had my moment when I was student teaching out there in the rural with the white folks. That's a whole nother degeneracy level. The motherfuckers, whoa, whoa. Them white boys out there in the sticks getting girls, 12-year-olds pregnant. Oh, it's a whole lot of degeneracy out there in the rural areas. I don't got time to talk about that today. So I just let y'all know I'm not talking about abortion for black people. I'm talking about abortion for poor and unprepared people who are having unwanted children. You don't want them. And why do I say abortion? Common sense, don't get pregnant, right? Common sense. I'm gonna play this one video. Common sense says don't get pregnant. But we know with degenerate and people who don't have sense of responsibility, they're gonna get pregnant. Don't we know that? Don't we know that? They're gonna. So then what's next? That's what I'm talking about. That's why I'm saying that. Because there's a lot of people who know they don't want kids. They don't want to have unwanted kids, so they use birth control, right? Common sense. So there's a whole thousand billions. Nobody talks about that. There's a billions of kids that could be born, but they're not born because people are responsible. People think about their future. They plan. They avoid. Or they use abstinence. They make better choices. We're not talking about those people. Those people exist. They've already done their birth control. They've mastered their birth control situation. They don't have to get to abortion. But what we also have in society is people who don't have responsibility, people who are just stupid. They're ignorant. They're reckless. When it comes to the ignorant and reckless people, those are the last people, right? Those are the last people we need to be having unwanted children. The ones who have to get an abortion because they could not do what and make decisions before that. They did not have common sense. But these are the ones. So yes, I'm promoting abortion. These are the ones who are having children, the most unqualified, the most set up for failure, having unwanted children. And then they unleash their unwanted child on the world, becomes a burden in all ways. Financially, we rewarding it, right? Got the food stamps, the child care, all these free programs, free lunch, free this, free that, to accommodate unwanted children. I'm just keeping it real. We got all of this going on. Going to school, not learning nothing, not caring, contributing to the chaos of the world, all of that stuff. These unwanted kids, we need to make decisions before they get to be the demons by default. And that's they need to go in the opposite direction. Go in the opposite direction. Instead of trying to restrict abortion, you need to give that shit away. They need to have abortion tickets. How Oprah say? Everybody gets a ticket. You get a ticket, I get a ticket, everybody get a ticket. We need to have free fucking abortion. Go online, type your name in, show up to the abortion clinic, get it done. And then teach them that they need to not go use abortion as birth control. That's what you need to do. We need free and accessible, consistent, free abortions in America. It'd be a better investment than what the fuck they doing, wasting all this money. It's not productive. Look, what did Trump just fucking say? What did Trump just fucking say? He said we don't want Americans. They have no talent. We need the Chinese. We need the Koreans. Why? Everybody's mad. They're upset. She said, no, but we have talent. He said, no, we don't. You know what he didn't want to say? He didn't want to say what Vivek said. Basically, Americans, for the most part, are dumb. And he's not really talking about all of America. He's talking about white Americans, if we're honest. But I'm here to tell you as a teacher that most of America, a lot of it, not critical thinking, not reading comprehension, mastery, not literate. I'm just being honest. Now, a lot of y'all, us that we talk to each other, we're actually educated. A lot of us are overeducated. We're in our careers, we're in our fields. We're past thinking this way. But you talk about the average everyday Joe, a lot of these motherfuckers are uneducated. They can't get a job. They're not gonna make it past AI. Listen to this lady, and I'm gonna end the stream, and I'll take any other comments. Wu said, "Oh my God, I don't know what I shocked you on, but I want y'all to hear this lady. Listen to this, and y'all see if I'm being mean when I say everybody deserves to get free abortion."
Should be scared. These kids cannot read. High school teachers are quitting and warning America about the future of our workforce. Here's why. As somebody that taught high school and basically educating our new young adults, every last one of us should be scared. These kids cannot read. They cannot write. There is no type of comprehension skills, no type of critical thinking. They cannot do anything on their own. They expect everything to be given to them. So in my class, we did this thing where I made them write once a week. They would have some type of assignment where they would have to write at least a paragraph, meaning 5 sentences. 5 sentences. The amount of assignments that I got in with 1 sentence, 2 sentences, the amount of complaints I got with the whole 5 sentences, that's too much. That's too much. Can we do 3? Can we do 3? Isn't 3 considered a paragraph? Oh, baby. We are in for a wild ride, y'all. Every assignment that I gave them, there was several students that came to my desk and made me walk them through the entire assignment, the full whole thing. But genuinely, the truth of the matter is everybody is failing these kids. Everybody. The school board, with all these different rules, they're failing these kids. The principals or admin altogether, they're failing these kids. And they're failing the teacher because they're basically telling us that we had to just pass a child along just to keep these graduation numbers. Like, oh, and don't get me started on the parents. Like, I will call and say, hey, your child is failing. And the first thing is, well, why didn't I know about this? Probably because you didn't answer the phone. Probably because you didn't get or you didn't respond to my email. On top of that, you have 24-hour access to Power School. When I tell y'all it is horrible, like the parents that are here now are not the parents that we had growing up. So unfortunately, it's not these kids' faults. I mean, yeah, they're lazy, but like, what are you supposed to do when all you gotta do is tell your mama, well, she failing me, and the school board is gonna accommodate that parent? Like, it's crazy, y'all. We should be very scared for our new nurses, our new doctors, our new everybody. These colleges are going to have to start lowering their requirement because the amount of kids that are going to come into these schools and they cannot read, they cannot write, they cannot do anything without AI. We should really be scared.
Oop, oop, oop. We should really be scared. So we have a whole bunch of the most unproductive people in society having a bunch of unwanted children, and they don't want to take responsibility for them. So they throw them into the public school system, and they don't want to do anything as it relates to parenting. They want the school strangers to parent, to teach morals and values, to discipline. They just drop them off as a babysitting service. They do not monitor or care if they actually excel, meet the standards, if they learn, if they come to school at all. A lot of kids don't even come to school and the parents don't know. I've seen that happen a couple of times too. Kid been like absent for 2 months, parent didn't know. They get the grades and they're like, what happened? Well, he's been absent for 2 months. Well, no, he's been going to school every day. How do you know that? He rides the bus okay. But how do you know? Okay. You haven't been involved. You don't come to anything. You don't do anything. You don't care. You didn't notice the grade book. No grades were being posted. All them zeros collected. You didn't notice that? Okay. One of the things I'm going to say this real quick. This next generation has a lot of unwanted children. The parents don't want to take responsibility. Nobody wants to take responsibility. These institutions don't give a fuck about your kids. I got to say that. The one credit I give Dr. Umar, who's a fucking whole clown, is he does tell Black people that these schools do not give a fuck about your kids. I don't think anybody else in society is really telling Black people that, for real. And it goes past Black. It's any school. Most schools don't. Only schools with high levels of accountability, which have high levels of PTA, organization, and participation, have such, quality and standards. For example, in my daughter's school, they do $100,000 fundraiser every year. We all participate. We dress up. We have a lot of money collecting. And when you collect a lot of money, there's a lot of accountability. And that's in addition to the amount of money that we probably wrestle from the other lesser schools. We're well funded. And they do some crazy ass fundraisers. They debo you. You got to be prepared. When you go into these schools that are highly, high quality, you better be prepared to debo. I'll give you an example. My daughter paints. They do this every year as a fundraiser. She paints a painting. All the kids in the art class, they pimping the art teacher. They paint a painting. They put the shit online as an online auction. They can make as many paintings as they want. So of course I have to buy one, and I have to get one for my mother-in-law. They charge me $50 for my own daughter's painting. You see? And they charge me $50 for my mother-in-law's painting. This is how we do fundraising. So you find yourself paying for the painting that your child painted 10 times as part of the fundraiser to get 10 people in your family a copy of the same picture. You understand? So this is the type of shit you got to deal with. We spend $300 at the very beginning of the school year. The list is long. You got to bring boxes of copy paper and boxes of this and boxes of that. They want everything. They don't even use the school district's money for none of that. Parents are bringing in 3 loads of shit on day one. They demand a lot from you. I just got a comment from the teacher. I haven't seen that permission slip. We do hope you'll be attending, Ms. Freeman, as always, the next field trip. They require and expect you to come on the field trip. Y'all, we have so many fucking parents that come on the field trip that everybody, mama or daddy, is there. Y'all understand? Everybody. It'd be like one kid without their parent. The whole fucking class, the parent is one parent there, if not two. We're older parents. We want to be part of everything. I've not missed one of her field trips, not one. I'm there every time. There's a lot of people. They worked hard. They wanted to have a family. They got this kid. They want to be there for everything. That's the environment I want to be around. I want to go on a field trip and all the fucking parents are there because we're all so excited about seeing our child learn and discover and explore. I ride up on that campus to the school sometime and I be like, what the fuck is this? They got some robotics bus that they got the kids coming into. They got a lab bus. Oh, we paying for it, baby, out of our pockets. The public school is the venue, but we're paying for that quality education out of our own pockets through fundraisers. They got kindness fairs and shit, all kind of stuff, all kind of fundraisers, chili cook-offs. I mean, we got a whole bunch of stuff, booster clubs and partnerships with the restaurants. Everybody has to go eat at this restaurant on a certain day because 20% of the proceeds is going back to the school. Oh, we got a whole bunch of, we're paying, trust me, we're paying for our children to get a high quality education. Nothing good is free. Okay. Nothing good. But y'all heard what this lady said. She talked about these kids being illiterate, don't know nothing, want you to give them everything. She ain't lying. She's telling the motherfucking truth. They're not prepared for nothing. We basically are giving birth to a bunch of useless eaters and demons, violent folk. This is how you end up with children who will surround a grown woman and proceed to attack her in broad daylight in a community. This shit is not as uncommon as you think. I had about 6 months ago, I had an intervention in the HOA. I got a call. I get a call about a lot of shit. And our HOA functions as a community too. It's not just about the money and the safety. We function as a community when we have concerns. Okay. And one of the things that I had got a call about was a teenager being harassed by what seemed to be another teenager. So y'all know what I did for 6 days straight? Had an intervention with the mom, told her my advisement as a part of the safety committee, get in contact with the police community liaison, let the police know, file a police report, make sure you get all the information. And at this point, your child needs to document in pictures every single thing. And he needs to be honest. We found out the son was not as honest as he should have been. Okay. Because some of the other kids said he might have been trying to. You got this problem in the suburbs. People be trying to be gang affiliated. Nigga, go sit down. That's why you got to keep your kids involved in something. If you don't get them involved and obsessed about something, they will get into trouble. The kids around them who don't have the same culture will drag them into trouble. That teacher said it's painful watching good kids go to the devil. It is. It's painful. You start seeing them change. And you can't do anything about it. I start seeing a good girl. She's normal. And then, she starts hanging around the girls that's talking nasty and lesbian shit. You're like, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Next thing you know, it's so much of a cesspool. Be careful where you place your kids. I would say anybody in America, do not put your kids, your high school kids, don't. Just skip high school. Skip that shit. Get them in a trade, some kind of magnet program, part day. They're going to get their second, what you call it? What is it called, Gabe? When you get you learn 9 to like 11th grade basic curriculum, and then you have a program where you start working on your associate's degree or something like that. If you love your kids, keep them away from people who have a degenerate culture. Keep them away. And I would say most of these high schools, even the high schools I have access to for my daughter, I already know it's still not going to be good enough. I can't even think of and the thing is, I don't think a Christian institution is going to be better. You would think, oh, we send it to, I'm not a Christian, I'm just saying, you would think a religious, and I thought about that. I drove past what they call a Black empowerment school. I was challenged by somebody to look into, Black education and single sex education. And I rode by this school on Kendall Road And I looked at the website. I called the number. Nobody answered. Customer service is off. And I looked at the pictures of the people. I said, oh, hell no. Hell no. It wasn't Black excellence. So even people who promote Black excellence, it don't be Black excellence. I do know one good school. My friend, she sends her daughter there. Her daughter has actually been going there for a long time. And it's kind of like a hybrid. It's something different. That's all I can tell you. High standards. And it's not religious. It's about high level academics. I like that school. And that's probably where I end up sending my daughter. And I may do a hybrid. If I get a private institution, I could just tell them, I got her for 3 days, you got her for 2 days. And let the science and certain stuff and activities be done over there. And I've looked into a couple of, what do you call them? What do you call those schools? I've looked into a couple of, oh man, I can't think of the model. I can't think of it right now. I can't think of the model of education right now. But anyway, you got to find another alternative because these schools are crazy. And then in Chicago, they lying. They try to act like they got standards. They so outraged. Y'all see this shit all the time. Y'all sons out here shooting the fuck out of each other. Quit acting outraged. Y'all got so many guns flying in and out y'all houses. Y'all got so many young men who don't have no fucking purpose, standing around doing bullshit in gangs. Gangland. Go somewhere with that bullshit. All of y'all got sons in gangs. All of y'all are gang affiliated. Stop fucking trying to act like y'all got high standards in Chicago. No, the fuck you don't. I know a lot about Southside Chicago. Okay. And I got friends here in Atlanta I had to quit hanging out with from Chicago because them niggas is too wild for me. They love pulling out guns and popping off and shit just for fun. Go outside after we having a good time and y'all want to pull out your guns and compare. I don't want to be around gun culture. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? That's Chicago people. If you know, you know. These Baltimore folks, they about damn near like that too. Okay. So quit putting on Chicago. Stop the lying, the outrage, the fake outrage. Y'all niggas is degenerate. Y'all love poverty. You've been bathing in it. And y'all motherfuckers need to quit acting for the damn gram. Cut it out. I know where y'all live and how y'all live. Y'all get it like you live. And I hope that the people who want to do better take this as a lesson. I think America can take this as a lesson. If you don't get up and out of environments, you become victims of them. You're not a victim if you stay. You got what you deserved. Do better. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. I don't hear about no barriers. And it's so hard. I don't hear none of that. Do fucking better. Break your ass. Break your fucking neck to do better. There's lots of people. There's a history of our Black people breaking their ass, sacrificing, doing different shit, superhuman shit to do better. It's a choice. You're not a victim. If you get fucked up in ghettos and hoods, it's because you fucking deserve it because you didn't leave. I'm done. Ashe. I appreciate anybody have any comments. I appreciate y'all. I didn't know I was going to go on and on. I got a little passionate. Got a little emotional. I got 16 years, 16, 17 years. And I break it up kind of different because I had 2 years student teaching. Then I had 15 year degree. 15 years at this place. That still counts. And then I had 2 years or a year, maybe 2 years, my last 2 years at this other school. So I've taught in 3 different places. So I kind of, when I say 15, 16, 17, sometimes I be breaking it up, thinking about which part. I don't even kind of count the student teaching. I really don't count that part. But that's why you'll hear me say 15, 16, 17, because I'm breaking up different parts of they're all different. I'll call it my beginning, my student teaching, my main career, and then I have my exit. That's the last year to 2 years. And God damn, I'm so glad. You couldn't drag me in that bitch. You could. I think the only way you get me to go back to teach, you have to offer me literally $500,000. Maybe I think about it. Maybe. Y'all, it's a cesspool. And Chicago just highlighted that. And Trump, he said it. We don't have no talent in America. He ain't lying. Y'all, I don't care what you believe, what bubble you live in. Americans are collectively fucking dumb. Americans are dumb. You're the exception to the rule if you're educated, but Americans are fucking dumb. We try to pretend we so smart. A lot of us who are not educated, we try to pretend we so smart. A lot of people be putting on, I'm highly intelligent. You know, we're at a point where our culture is struggling so hard that we have created a subculture, and that's why you'll notice a lot of people always trying to challenge other people's intelligence because we basically have a society of dummies, and so they spend a lot of time sparring, trying to pretend intellectually that they're smart, and they're not. They're not. You know, a lot of people are not smart. They're doing extra. There's an insecurity there. A lot of people don't know how to learn. They can't learn, and so Trump, no, he got the numbers. Trump, no, he got the numbers. They got to import intelligence because there's not much in America. I'll say.